This episode is sponsored by Malibu. There's many lessons to be learned here on the Hundamental Guide to Life, but one lesson I've learned is that there's nothing better than listening to your favourite podcast while sipping on your favourite cocky tea. What do you know? I'm sipping on my favourite Malibu cocktail whilst recording your new favourite podcast, the Hundamental Guide to Life. So if you want to join me in a Gorgina cocky tea every week, check out at Malibu Rum UK on Instagram for gorgy recipes and lots of other fun stuff. Let the fun shine this winter with Hunsnet and Malibu. Over 18s only. Yasu, a spot of Greek there for you. Welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life podcast with yours truly, if Gareth. That's the only Greek I remember, actually. I'll talk about that a little bit later. This week, I'm joined by my longtime Hun pal, Rosie Ramsey. That's not Greek, and I'll never do that again. And we're going to be delving into all things topical, from being a Hun mum to a podcast queen and to our previous lives as Huns in the sun.
Yeah.
It gives me great pleasure to have a massive warm welcome to the one and only Rosie Ramsey.
Hi. Hey, Hun.
Hi, Hun.
Yeah.
How's you?
Yeah. Good, Hun. Living life.
Living life. Now, welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life. Now, I've got a bone to pick with you, actually, Rosie, because I'm going to start by kicking off, actually, story of my life.
Oh, shit. Okay, right. Okay.
You know, like, I run this page called Hunsnet, and we do this thing, allegedly. And we do this thing called Hun Brunch. And every time we do Hun Brunch, every single time I have to dedicate 10 minutes at the end where people come up to me and go, "Oh my God, you know Rosie Ramsey. What's the story there?" Every single time, because thankfully, you added about 5,000 followers to my page when you mentioned Hunsnet on there. Thanks, girl.
Oh, yeah. Hey, well, you're welcome.
Thank you. Because obviously, we'll talk about shag, marriage, noise in a minute, but I've got to say to you, everyone comes up to me and says, "What's the story?" So would you just lay it all to rest here on the podcast? What's the story? Tell them all.
So, I mean, the real story is we used to be lovers back, but Listen,
Yep.
no
Okay.
comment. No, the story is many, many moons ago, you were my boss at Pontins, Breen Sands, for a season, which was amazing. Of dreams. Oh God, I tell you what, that was the best days of my life. I will not hear a bad word said about it. And then, so you were my boss there, and then I randomly applied for a job to work abroad, as a similar kind of thing, entertainment team. You were my boss again. And I was like, what is going on here?
It did.
But it was and we did 2 summers together in
We
Rhodes.
did, in Fallaraka.
In Fallaraka, darling.
In darling, back in the day. And of course, Rosie, the years have passed. It's now, what is it, 13, 12 years since our last season together?
Is it that long?
It is, yeah.
Shit.
It is.
It will be, yeah. Do you know how I count it?
Go on.
It's really bad. I count it by relationships that I had.
God.
I do.
Is Chris at home?
No, he's out.
Right, okay. The real tease. Right, okay. Here we go.
No, because I'm like, right, well, that summer I was with that guy for a year. And then that next summer I met him. I was with him for 3 years. Then I had a year of slagging. And then I had a year off. And then I met Chris. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds about 13 years. Sounds about right.
Do you know what I love about, when we've been recording the podcast over the last number of weeks, because obviously I'm not going to let any spoilers off, but I'm meeting some of my absolute idols, so I'm literally on guard that I can't say the word slagging and things like that, because you just don't know the tone. And that's what I was really excited about us recording today, is that I absolutely can say slagging.
Yeah. Go for it. Everyone's a little bit of a slag.
So Rosie, I've got to tell you, I'm literally, this is my gushathon now about to start, out of every orifice.
This is going to be weird coming from you.
No, honestly, listen. So, where this all came from, is obviously the world now knows you as one half of the number one podcast in the UK, Mic Drop Boom, Shagged, Married, Annoyed.
Yeah.
But obviously I know you from Pontins back in the day, and those 2 crazy summers in Fallaraki, where it all got a bit crazy for me. And I've got to mention these 2 girls because I worked in my previous job before becoming a full-time Hun. I worked for a travel company called TUI, which we worked for some way back in the day. And other travel companies are available, by the way. Well, no, they're not. Thomas Cook's gone.
I think it's the only one left.
And Kelly and Jess, who worked with me on my team, they would literally be there every Friday. Like, we'd be at the office, like sat there, and they're like typing. And then like Jess and Kelly would be sat there giggling. And I'd be like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, do you not listen to it? It's Shag, Married, Annoyed with Rosie and Chris. I was like, you do know that I worked with Rosie? And they were like, no. So then I had to go back into the Facebook archives.
Yeah.
And get those pictures out from back in the day to prove it. But literally, honestly, I can't believe it. It is so awesome. It's just gone crazy. And then the other night.
I know. And that was a proper pinch me moment. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Just mental, like, and to be fair, we weren't even going to do the podcast, you know, we were going to do like 6 episodes and just kind of like because I worked in radio for a little bit.
You did?
So I was like, well, let's try this. And Chris didn't want to do it. He was like, no, I don't want to do it. He's like, don't want to let you in and all this kind of shit.
Really?
And then a little bit. But then and then we did it, and it was really successful from the off. And then it's just kept going, and it's such a pleasure to do. And the tour's a pleasure as well. So it's really cool doing what you enjoy.
Do you know what I love about it is that Wembley Arena back in September, you've been cancelled a couple of times. And I before I left TUI, I was like, Kelly, Jess, we're going to go and see this. And I, as much as I was watching you, I literally was like scanning the audience, and I got goosebumps thinking about it, because it was amazing, because there's guys and girlfriends and their guys. It's like Team Rosie, Team Chris. And when you own him on stage, you can see people punching him in the leg and like, that's you, that's you. It's just magical, because I feel what you guys put out and the content that you put out is so reflective to people's lives, and you talk frankly, and it's not, it's not sugar coated. It is what it is. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think people are used to it.
No.
I mean, obviously Chris was in the public eye. I wasn't in the public eye. But for somebody in the public eye to be that that honest and that frank. And I think the reason people have related to it is because everybody goes through these things in relationships.
Yeah.
It's just like, he won't pick his socks up. She keeps, putting the bloody washing away in the wrong. Like, it's just everyday Monday things, but they can really build up. And I think we just started talking about it, and people were like, "Oh, right, okay,
yeah."
I hope that's good. Yeah.
When I went with the girls, I was like, right, so what happens then? So Kelly, who I work with, she was like, she went, well, I listened to it on a Friday on the way in to work, and then Ash listened to it on the way home from work, and then they're like, right, then it's a discussion point for them as they're doing their weekly shop round the Asda.
But what did you think though? Because were you like, oh my God, Rosie, this is Rosie from like the Little Blue Coach as a dick? No,
but as I said to you before we started recording, there's not many people in my life, like who can absolutely own you. Like do you remember those times in Rhodes? Like I don't even know whether we should talk about this on the podcast, because we haven't got through. Do you remember the complaint letter that was written in about us for being too dirty on stage?
Yeah. How many pages was it? Wasn't it like 7 pages?
7 pages. And there was a bit, because we did this thing, it was a murder mystery, wasn't it?
Yep. The French murder mystery. Oh my God.
It was a French murder mystery in Rhodes, but I remember that you had to sing in Cockney the EastEnders theme tune. Anyone can fall in love.
Anyone at all. Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure that something in the letter was something down the lines of, and there was a moment where Rosie was on her back, writhing around with her wriggling her legs in the air. And Gareth I'm not even going to say the rest, because I don't think it ages very well.
It was something about a baguette. We did something.
It was about a tuna baguette.
We said something horrifically inappropriate about a tuna baguette. But do you know what's hilarious about that, and what I've kind of kept in the rest of my career? So we got that 7-page that complaint letter. you, unlike any other boss I've had in my life, who would have been like horrified, you pinned it in the dressing room wall and kept it up there the full season. Like, this is what we need to do. This is what we're aiming for.
There's one thing worse than being talked about, hun, and that is not being talked about. Exactly. And do you know what I love about this whole hun culture thing? Oh. And this is where, like, this is why it's so cool to talk about this now. Part of hun culture, I believe, is like back in the day, 2005, 2009, you tried to be all cool and everything like that. Yeah. I think I had hair at that point, didn't I, at some points during that? Because we did. We braved the shave when in Rhodes, and I basically looked like Sinead O'Connor. It was rubbish.
Second year, yeah, you did. You did have hair back.
I did, yeah. It was like a cockatoo. And I had a cock or two back in the day. Anyway, no, less about that.
Let's not. Yes.
Yeah. So no, I mean, going back to my point, it's like back in the day, you're trying to be cool, and what I love about hun culture now, it's like back in 2021, it's like looking at yourself there, back in the day in 2005, and you don't need to be cool, and you can look back and laugh about these things, absolutely. And just it's so fun. It's so fun, and it's really, really great.
I love how much it's taken off for you as well, because like I said just before when we were chatting, if people don't know you personally, everything you put onto that page is authentically 100% your crack, and it's just when you started doing it and I followed it, I was like, oh, Gareth still says all of these things.
Well, we're going to talk. I'm going to go a little bit forward into the running order here, because I talk about clammy winnette a lot.
Yeah.
About having a clammy winnette. Now, clammy winnette for me is, I talk, people say, what is a clammy winnette? And it's just turned into a braggy winnette and a silly winnette and all of these stupid winnettes. But it actually started in my brain back in Rhodes, because do you remember when we lived in that? I drove past this the other day because I went on holiday to Rhodes, as I mentioned to you.
Oh, yeah.
And I drove past that. We used to live in this like house, didn't we?
Yeah. What was it? Next door to Hotel Columbia.
Yeah, and it wasn't Koala. The Koala Hotel.
The Koala Hotel.
Yeah, indeed. And we lived there. And do you remember there was no fucking aircon?
Nope.
And it was you lived at the front underneath the shade. No, you lived upstairs, didn't you?
I was upstairs for a while. And then I swapped with Michael, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, all around the houses. Yeah. And it basically was no aircon, and it was just so fucking clammy the whole time. So where Clammy Winnette came Clammy Winnette is obviously a play on Tammy Winnette. Tammy Winnette, she needs to stand by her man. A Clammy Winnette, you need to stand by your fan. So that's where Clammy Winnette came from. And that was from back in the day.
Hotel Koala.
I know, yeah, indeed. And didn't your mum used to come round and stay, Sandra?
What? Yeah, my mum.
Your mum used to say, did she used to come and stay there in Koala?
My mum came a couple of times. Yeah. But I never stayed at the Hotel Koala. No, I'm not sure who stayed there. Do you remember the woman from Gyros who used to tell the weather?
This was year one, and so a gyros, for anybody who doesn't know, of course everybody knows what a gyros is, but gyros is the best
food ever.
Best food ever. So what is it, Rosie? Gyros. Sell us the gyros.
A gyros is like a pita bread with tzatziki inside, and then you've got like pork meat that's been on the kebab, and then you've got chips, cucumber, red onion, and then they roll it up, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's so delicious.
But we used to have one of these daily after we finished doing the entertainment at the hotel, and we used to go into the shop on the main street, and there used to be a woman with a fan, and she used to be like, it's too hot, it's going to rain tomorrow. So basically we lived our weather life, it was a bit like, olden times, Yeah.
What's it going to be like tomorrow? Oh, we'll go and ask the woman from the gyros.
Well, yeah. Basically, that was just a ploy for us to have another gyros.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to know for the guests. We need to know what the weather's going to be like.
Indeed.
Oh my gosh, we had a laugh.
It was. Could you imagine? I couldn't imagine doing that again. I wouldn't have the energy.
No. Well, at the minute I'm watching Below Deck. Have you seen?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they go on a night out. Yeah. Me and Chris will be watching it, and they'll go on a night out, and then they get to bed at like 3:00 in the morning, and then they're up 4 hours later. I watch it now at this age and go, oh God, I could be sick. Like, what are they doing? We used to do that.
Yeah.
we would get in at like 4 a.m. And then I remember at 9 o'clock, I'd be teaching flipping salsa by the side of the pool. And I'm thinking, I am still absolutely shit-faced. Moira.
Maureen, if only those guests knew. Oh, no, they did. We used to tell them we were shit-faced.
They could smell it on us. Like, I'm not being funny.
That messed with the Charlie Red.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about Hun. Now, Rosie, what I love about, sort of you and this Hun culture and how it all sort of fits in with me and why I'm so excited to have you on is because I think the birth of hunning was like early 2000s, 2004 2004, 2005 being like a pivotal year.
Yeah.
That's kind of when we first met. So I think that you are one of the OG Huns from back in the day. I'm going to proclaim you one of the OG Huns from back in the day. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm clammy Winnett right now.
She's full clammy Winnett. She is
full clammy Winnett.
She's full clammy Winnett in the kitchen. Right. Okay. So I'm going to shoot you some questions to see how Hun you really are all these years down the line.
Right.
Now, do you own any form of furnishing that has an inspirational quote on it? I'm thinking, let the weekend be gin. You don't have to be mad to live here, but it helps. Or life is rosy.
Oh, do you know what? I thought about this and I don't have anything like that, but I do have this little flag that says, just be a fucking nice human.
Do you know what? Fair play to you, because knowing you, I mean, that is your equivalent. That's a home range for you, Hun. That is a Wilco's collab there.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Just be a nice human.
And you've recently moved house. So, when you like moving, so when I moved house, when you find stuff that's in your cupboard and you think, how the fuck why? Did you chuck a load of shit out when you moved house?
So do you know what it is? I didn't know how much of a hoarder I am with clothes. Like Gareth, I found a pair of pedal pushers.
Oh, Hun.
Pedal pushers. We're talking 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Like that I've just kept. But I don't know whether I've kept it because this is how messed up my brain is, right? I also loved the younger period in my life. And I thought if I ever have a daughter, this might be like really vintage. But I haven't had a daughter, and they were horrific, so I chucked them away.
God, you're denying that possible daughter the chance to look. Do you know what I love? I always remember. I will always classic Rosie outfit. I always remember the one where you look like a show dog. Do you remember that? The yellow dress with the thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? I've got a picture of this, and when this episode drops, I'm gonna get this back out. It was bodycon, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I was really skinny then.
You are really skinny.
I'm like 5 stone heavier than I was at Rhodes. I swear to God.
Well, I'll tell you what, then you need to get on a diet of gyroses because they obviously kept us
They obviously worked.
Yeah.
They obviously worked. I do remember this dress. It was like, wasn't it like cockatoo colour? It was like...
It was canary yellow.
Yeah, it was... Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was not good.
It's going to make... When this episode drops, Hun, I'm going to drop that and people are going to see what a fashion icon you are. Fabulous. Do you know what I've got to tell you, actually? I had a moment thinking about you on Friday. Every time I smell Chanel...
Yes.
Chanel, yours is what?
Coco Chanel, Mademoiselle. Mm-hmm.
So we did a gig on Friday, and one of the staff member there walked past, and I went, "That's Chanel, Coco Mademoiselle," and I always remember that because that's the smell. In the day. What is it today? Is it?
So I still wear Chanel, but it's Autondre. It's a Chance Chanel Chance.
Chance. Yeah.
Because I think I just sickened myself with the Coco Mademoiselle.
Yeah, I mean, as we were talking earlier on, my Tom Ford, I've got PTSD for it. It just takes me back to times where I've been an absolute mess. And
a lot of memories. Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of memories attached to them smells.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now.
Oh, God. Okay, let's talk about drinks. Now, back in the day, what was your drink back in the day? Ursus. You like that Greek thing, Ursus. Do you remember it? That it was like, I saw it the other day when I was in Greece the other day.
Was it orange?
It was like bright red, but Ursus and soda or Ursus and lemonade.
Sprite.
Yeah, yes. Ursus and Sprite. That was your drink back in the day when we were there. What's your drink now of choice? Cocky tea, Savvy Bee or Prosecco?
So I am definitely, I don't like Savvy Bee. I'm a wine drinker.
You are?
Wine drinker. Red or white. Or rosé in the sunshine. Only in the sun. Isn't that weird?
I've got this like psyche around wine. So I love a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. So if any sponsors want to sponsor this podcast, I will mention it on, I'm talking Oyster Bay.
That's the
dream.
dream.
My favourite one though is Aldi. I love the Aldi New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, Aldi do amazing wines.
We do.
I've just worked with Aldi. I'll give them a shout.
Yeah, tell them I will literally talk up their wines here.
Right.
Okay. What was I saying? And so last week, I met a friend and I was like, right, let's go and get a bottle of wine. What can make or break a bottle of wine, in my opinion, is the glass. Like social club glasses, which are like these little thick glasses. They look like stumpy.
Yeah.
I need to drink for me to enjoy a wine. I can enjoy a really cheap wine as long as it's in a thin, dainty glass.
Yes, I agree. Or like I have a red wine, but I have like a massive glass and I only put like a tiny little bit in. Like I'm at a really posh restaurant and I swill it around like
a right cocky bitch.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Like look at that arsehole over there
she is.
A £4 wine.
Yeah. Love it. I know that you love an animal print. So are you moderate on the animal print or are you full on cat Slater these days?
I'm full on cat Slater.
Yeah.
I am. I nearly wore leopard print the day and I was like, he's going to have my life.
Nah.
So I love leopard print. I love any sort of print. I've got a leopard print coat. I found a scarf and a gloves the other day. I just love it. I think it's really come back into fashion though.
Do you know what? I'm looking at the corner here. You can't see it, but I've actually got a leopard print. I've got a leopard print bedside cabinet. I'm looking at it now. I'll
have
send
you really?
I have, yeah. I have.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's the only way that I can sneak the hunning in because leopard print for guys is seasonal. It's very seasonal. It's like let's have a party at Christmas. Get leopard print out for fellas. Yeah. Lovely. I know the answer to this one, but have you ever eaten a Mackie D's in bed?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's the best place to have a Mackie D's.
Indeed.
Yeah. And sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit posh, I'll put it on a plate.
Really? I'm glad you said plate then, because I was thinking, Chris, Rosie, bed. No.
Oh God. Oh, Gareth. No. Not sacrilege. McDonald's.
I wouldn't waste it on that.
You wouldn't waste it that. Maybe it's a KFC. Not
exactly. Yeah. Loves a KFC. Right. Okay. And finally, have you ever had a graduated pob? I'm talking a Karen cut.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
Have you had a short Karen cut over the years?
Yeah, I have. Like when it starts when it's short at the back and then comes down, genuine, like
feathered round face,
feathered layers, all that shit.
Choppy, loads of layers. Just make it funky and fresh. Go on. Ooh.
Oh my! While we're talking about hair, can we talk about when I don't want to name names, but there was about 3 lasses who we worked with the Pontons who had a sticky bit of hair that they used to straighten up. Can you remember that?
That was me, hun.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, that sticky bit of thing. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Do you know what was the big thing? Do you know what the big thing was when I can't remember whether it was Pontins or whether it was overseas. Do you remember when it was that rockabilly big quiff with the ponytail?
I was all about that.
You were. And then there was the hair pieces, which sort of just made it, basically you look like show ponies walking around. I loved it.
I did love that. I
loved
them hair pieces.
So, when you're on tours, selling out Wembley Arena and everything like that, do you do your own hair and makeup or have you got a glam squad?
I do my own. I'm just so super boring. And like, it was quite expensive.
Yeah, should do her own.
Glam squads are, when you see people and they've got like 6 people with them, that's how are they making any money? So expensive.
I know. It's like, where are they getting booked for these jobs and who are paying them?
I have no idea. So I'm very not glam squad.
Let's talk about, now I know, obviously when we first met, you were little Rosie Winter.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And I remember that you loved musicals and, singing and everything like that. Obviously now you're like a mega star in the world. Okay. Is there anybody who you've met, like, who you've been like, oh, you know what I mean? Like over there. Who's the one that has like disarmed you the most?
Do you know what? It's actually ridiculous. But we were, and this isn't even recently. This was years ago when me and Chris first got together. We went, you're going to laugh your head off, but I was so taken aback. And I just remember that feeling since then. So we went to a Celebrity Juice rap party and Damage were there. Do you remember Damage?
Yeah, Jay Jones.
Yeah. And I just like, I was so pissed. And I was just like, I was like to Chris, I was like, damage. You know, when 13-year-old you kind of like just comes to the surface.
Yeah.
And I got pictures with them and I was dancing with them. And to the point where I was just like, this is the best day of my life. Nobody's topped it since then. That was
damage.
That was like, it was just so good. And then, you know who listens to our podcast?
Go on.
Scott from 5 listens to our podcast. He might be coming to see it.
I memed him recently.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Scott Robinson. I lost my shit.
Well, do you know what? It's so funny because I think about like 5 and everything back in the day, and I just think, oh God, do you remember Jay? How everybody used to fancy Jay. I still fancy Jay.
Yeah, I fancied them all. Fancied every single one of them.
5. What you waiting for?
What do you want? 3, 2, 2, 1. Let's do it.
I love it because I knew you were going to sing on this podcast because you try and sing on every podcast you're on, right?
Yeah, it's a problem actually. It's got a bit of an issue. It's because I don't sing anymore. We used to sing every day, and I don't do it anymore at all.
But surely there's a spin-off album. Surely there is. Come on.
I get so many messages from people going like, you need to release an album. You need to do this, and I'm like, I could do one, couldn't I? Just Jane McDonald my tits off and do like a Christmas album.
Hun, seriously, I think there's I know there's a market for it. There's 10,000 people at Wembley who lost their shit to your like a prayer. Yeah, there's a market. Maybe Rosie and the Military Wives Choir.
Oh, you see, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Really nice.
Yeah, that would be good.
All the old show tunes. Give my regards to Broadway. You've definitely got Hun status that we knew. Now, one thing that we do here on the Hundamental Guide to Life, we have a bit of a Hun timeline, you know, because we're here in 2020 Hun, 2021, but there's so many things now which are celebrated in 2021, which maybe from back in the day were like really insignificant. I'm talking like gypsy skirts. I'm talking, you know, which now we look back and we go, oh my God, that was iconic. Do you remember when?
Yeah.
You know, it could be like the rise of Prosecco being the drink of choice. It could be that graduated pub, or it could be, you know, when Kelly from the X Factor declared very, very harsh. So these are all things that I'm going to make a timeline of all these things that have happened over the years and how they've contributed to Hun culture in 2021. So do you have anything that stands out in your mind as an absolute Hun moment?
I think for me, it's not a specific kind of moment, but it's just a thing. And I very much partook in this. So no fake tan, but the most blusher and bronzer on your cheeks that you've ever seen in your entire life. Like to the point where I've got pictures and I look like someone's just smeared shit on my cheekbone. Is that bad? It's that bad.
Do you know what I loved about your big night at Wembley, which I saw was the old pictures, because there was you with Captain Croc, but then there is Chris with the feathered choppy. Ooh, I'll have it nice, loads of layers around my face. That was your wedding day, right?
No, I know. His hair was disgusting, wasn't it? I've sorted him out since then. But annoyingly, I've sorted out Chris so much since we got married that he's actually now quite attractive. And
really?
I'm like, oh, shit, what have I done?
I did this to you.
I made you. And now you need to stop. You need to stop now because everyone's saying you look attractive.
Oh my God.
I don't like it.
No, the glow up is great on both of you. You both look fabulous. And
oh, bless
and obviously the 2 lovely kids.
Yes, 2 boys.
Any more?
No. Absolutely
That's
not.
That's
it. Done. I'm not a good pregnant person.
No, but I remember you whilst pregnant you moved house at
the same time.
I mean that is pretty much.
Oh, I know. I don't do things by half, Gareth. I really don't. It's either it's all or nothing.
All or nothing.
No, love them to bits. They're absolutely brilliant. But I am done.
Yeah.
The oven is closed.
The oven is
locked, shut.
Closed. We've had the industrial cleaners round and it's never been opened again. It's a show oven now.
Just window shopping only.
Browsing.
Just browsing.
Open half an hour earlier on a Sunday for Sunday trading. Oh, it's too dirty. Right. Okay, let's pull it back.
No,
let's pull it back.
I love it.
Now, we love your podcast, Shag, Marry, Annoy. And so we wanted to ask you, who you would shag, marry, or find annoying out of these huns?
Yeah.
Here we go. Shag, marry, annoy. Michelle McManus, Jane McDonald, or Kerry Katona?
I think I'd shag Jane McDonald.
Yeah. This is the exclusive. Rosie leaves Chris for Jane.
I love Jane McDonald. I think she's fantastic. I love her cruising program. I've watched that many times.
Going cruising with Jane McDonald with Rosie.
Don't, because I would love. If my management rang me today, Rosie, next job, going cruising with Rosie and Jane. Oh, tell you what, sign me up.
That's a Channel 5 special.
Is it? Oh, yes. So yeah, I'd shag Jane. I'd marry Michelle.
Oh, so would I.
And who was it? Kerry Katona.
Yeah.
Oh God, love her though.
I love Kerry.
I love her though. So I mean,
let's not. No, we love Kerry.
Kerry.
Let's not be annoyed by it. If they don't genuinely annoy you. No, we love Kerry.
No, I like Kerry a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Vicky B, Liz from Tommy Kits, and Cheryl.
Okay. I'd shag Cheryl.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. I didn't know this was going to take such a lesbian turn, but
neither did I. Well, listen, why not? Why not? So yeah, shag Cheryl, and then I'd probably marry Liz.
Yeah.
And but then I do love Victoria Beckham, but she's probably just not. She wouldn't touch me with a barge pole, so I'd do that thing of, when you really like people, but you have to be horrible to them.
Rosie, don't put yourself down. Maybe one day Vicky B will be out there. Once she's finished with David and you finish with Chris.
Yeah, I hope we'll meet somewhere, and you'll get on like a house on fire.
You can have this massive blended family. You, Brooklyn.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, don't listen. I'm going to manifest this tonight.
Oh, I'm going to manifest it for you. Fab. And then Dane Bowers, Lee from Blue or Ben from A1. Them curtains.
Oh,
curtains.
Dane looks good now, doesn't he? Should I be
Daddy Dane. Daddy Dane.
Shag Dane.
Yeah.
Marry A1.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Ben. Curtains.
Ben. Oh, Ben with the curtains.
Yeah, that changes everything, doesn't it?
I loved A1. And then Lee from Blue. Even though Chris has worked with him a few times, and he's apparently a very, very lovely bloke.
I'm sure. You're lovely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with your choices. Chris has definitely left, right?
Yeah.
Chris is off on top.
Yeah.
As I was preparing to come to the show the other week, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to check out the, just look at the thing." You've got 200,000 more followers than Chris on Instagram.
I know.
That is like, I mean, well deserved, obviously, but I was like, wow. Does that cause problems at home?
I nearly split up last week, actually.
Really?
No. Do you know what it is? Chris is one of them annoying. He's not that arsed about social media. He couldn't give a shit, which is irritating because, it's my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, but to be honest, I don't think he's checked recently, so I might remind him.
Should we buy some followers for Chris just to make him feel better? Yeah.
Well, how much are they?
I don't know. I think like $30 you can get it for like 2,000, so $15 each.
Right. Okay, we'll go half us. We'll get them a few.
Depends what the exchange rate is.
Bump them up. Yeah.
But I think, obviously, part of your popularity online and Instagram is it's not your OnlyFans, because that hasn't dropped yet. It's you being a hun mum. Next year.
A hun mum.
A hun mum. Now, it's because you talk about parenting, warts and all, and I think, one thing, genuine moment. I mean, I don't have any kids, I hope. Might be a couple in Greece. I don't know. No, there definitely wasn't. I was definitely not straight in Greece.
Have a straight woman.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you used to be.
I did.
You had a fully blown girlfriend when I met you. You're at the front. I forgot about that.
Let's save that for the paywall. Save that for the paywall. Rosie Ramsey being a hun mum, it's warts and all parenting, because I think that people out there, new mums especially, there is this glamorized life of parenting, of like how it should be, and you've got to go and choose your buggy, and what car seat you're going to have, and that's what I can think of. Yeah. But actually, it's. I mean, I imagine, and the way that you show it, it's very, very different. And I think it's so refreshing to see. And can you imagine like people who are new mums, and they're having a hard day, and then they see you, having your hard days, and just telling it like it is. It's amazing. So I think that's you followers better than I is a lot of your followers, mums as well, and that's why they find you popular. Do you think?
I think it started off massively as that because I started Instagram because I quit my job when I had Robin. Well, I went back to work for like 5 months, and the hours were just not working, and so I quit my job, and it was just sort of to help ease boredom being a full-time mom. But I say boredom, it's the most intense thing I've ever done in my entire life. Harder than any job I've ever had, and you don't get paid. You don't get paid a dime. But I personally struggle when I see people online who are moms and they have a perfect life. I get why they do it, and I can see the space for it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a bit, if you can't see past the fact that it's filtered and if you can't see past that, then it's really damaging. Luckily I can see past it now, but there was times when I was like, why am I always covered in snot? Why why does my kid always choose to just shit up his back as soon as I'm just going to leave out the door? But they don't show that.
No.
So you never see anyone else going through that. You just see matching clothes and and stain-free buggies. So
do you think as well that with the whole Instagram thing, and this is something which I've very recently just sort of accepted about it, is that years ago, being on stage and being in front of an audience every night, your life changes, and for the past 10 years I've gone and worked in offices and things like that, but it gives you a platform to tap into that old side of yourself as well, and and to get appreciate. You're a genuinely funny person. I wouldn't say that to everybody, but you're a genuinely funny person, and being a mum, there's so much more to everybody's lives than being a parent. And I think what people see of you on Instagram and stuff like that, they it's an outlet for you to show, to tap into that side as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can tap into both, and then I love to do a bit of singing on there because that is me. That is inherently, that is what I did. And it's hard because not many people know that, but I think in a way it's a good thing because, when we did Wembley the other week, we had, people came to see it in like TV channels and stuff like that. And they were like, oh my God, like, it's like, it's just comes so naturally to you. And I was like, do you know I I used to do this as a job, but I don't tell them. I stood there and I was like,
you gotta keep them guessing.
Yes, you gotta hide those codes. But so it's funny. It's a funny old world, Instagram. I love it. I do love it, but it can be intense.
It's a cruel
sometimes.
Mistress. It comes with its ups and downs. And I mean, even my page is all about memes, but for me to make a living out of it, I've had to attach and I wanted to attach my face to it, and I wanted to do that because I don't think people realize, searching through the archives of Big Brother from 2004 takes a lot of time. You know what I mean?
This is the problem. Yeah. It does take. It became a full-time job for me.
Yeah,
because it takes so much time in keeping up content and things like that. It starts off really naturally, but then it does take a lot of time, and then you can't work alongside it. Yeah, because then you wouldn't have a page. So it's hard, but then you get shit for doing ads, and you're like, I can't win here.
Right. Talking about your two little angles, we wanted to play a special game of Would You Rather. Now we're talking mum problems here. Okay. So you've got a suspicious stain on your top.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather it's a bit of vommy milk or a vommy baby food?
Baby food.
Baby food.
Oh, baby sick is gross.
Next level.
Grotesque.
One of the little uns shouts, I need a poo in the supermarket. Is it better in the supermarket or at the school drop-off?
Supermarket. Because then you can go to the toilets.
Yeah.
School drop-off is just a bit.
Yeah.
You might have to go in and like talk to people and stuff. No.
Would you rather tread on a single piece of Lego barefoot once or listen to Peppa Pig theme tune all day?
Lego, always.
Are the boys Peppa Pig? Peppa Pig is like...
She's a hun. She's
sassy.
A fully fledged hun. She's great. Do you know what it is? Peppa Pig kind of passed us by a little bit. Not fully, but we were very much more Paw Patrol. Yeah. Chuggington, stuff like that. And it's so funny because obviously Robin is older now. He loves YouTube. Just watches YouTube on the iPad and on the telly. But Rafe started to watch all the baby programs again. So they're going to be back in my life.
I know you've not got girls, but would you rather go on a girly whirly night out with Barbie or Polly Pocket?
Oh, Polly Pocket.
Polly Pocket.
Polly Pocket. Because I'm little as well.
Yeah.
I think we get on well.
Exactly. Do you know who I saw recently? And I don't know why. Betty Spaghetti. Did you have a Betty Spaghetti back in the day?
Betty, what did she do?
She was all like spaghetti arms. She was like a Barbie, but all spaghetti arms. I think it was like the girl version of Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, no, I don't think I did. I didn't have any of like the expensive toys.
No.
I was basic AF.
You were Little Orphan Annie.
I was little. Oh my gosh, Gareth, you need to tell me. This is just coming to my brain, right? I repeat this phrase that you used to say all the time, but I think I do it wrong, so you need to tell me what it is, right? Whenever we used to have a strop, you would be like, right, go and cry tiny tears in your room. What's the saying? Come on.
You want to fucking cry tiny tears? Get in your fucking room and do it, all right? I probably wouldn't say the fucking to the kids, all right?
Yeah, no.
Just
you want to cry tiny tears? Go and get in your room and cry tiny tears,
all right? It's time now to live, love and laugh. So part of the Hundamental Guide to Life is all about living, loving and laughing, as you know. And also a big part of Hun culture is music, and music from back in the day. So we're going to fuse these two things together. We're going to ask you what tracks make you live, love and laugh. Okay. So we'll start with, what is your ultimate Hun hype track? The one that gives you that extra strut in your jeans, your strappy sandals and your nice top.
So I don't know if this is a bit too specific, but you probably know it. So I love I'm Alive by Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
Yeah. Celine. Anything Celine Dion. Yeah. But this song, this is going to sound so ridiculous, right? Sometimes if I'm feeling a bit down, I'll like go for a walk and I'll put it on and I'll pretend I'm in a music video. And it's like, ooh, I'm alive. Bow, jam, bow, yeah. So I'll just walk along the street pretending I'm in a music video.
Do you remember at Pontins we used to have the Tracy Shields as Celine Dion?
She was fantastic.
Monday night. So set the scene for the listeners. It used to be Monday night at 10:30. And do you remember Stars in Their Eyes, listeners? Hopefully, of course you remember Stars in Their Eyes. But we used to have every Monday Tracy Shields as Celine Dion on the main stage of the Pontins Fun Factory. That was the name of the venue. And she used to come on and she used to start with Drove All Night, Miami Mix.
Yeah.
Do you remember what she used to say? And I still say this years down the line. Like,
oh, because she used to do the accent. Yeah, please do it.
So it's Tracy Shields. If Tracy's listened to this, it was like, we love Tracy Shields.
She was epic.
Iconic. Check her out on Stars in Their Eyes. I think she was a finalist or in the grand final or something. And she used to do all the slow songs. She used to do Miami Mix of Drove All Night, come on stage, get the audience going, Drove All Night. Then she used to do all the slow songs. And then halfway through, she used to go, because she used to do the accent as well. I think she lived in Weston-super-Mare.
Probably blown West Country, yeah.
Yeah. But she would do the accent and probably still does the accent. And Celine Dion, obviously being French Canadian, she's like, sometimes Celine, she likes the slow songs, but sometimes Celine, she likes to boogie. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course I do.
And it was at the time when the jackets were like lower thing, and she would like sweep the jacket like. Sometimes
when I was a little girl, I had a rag doll.
Sometimes Celine, she likes to boogie. So I know you love Celine Dion. Actually, I was talking about Celine Dion the other day. And do you remember I've only realised, the reason by Celine Dion. It's a bit dirty, that song, isn't it? In the middle of the night, I'm going down. And you're dirty cow. Okay. All right. So Celine Dion, I'm Alive. You've got your hair up in a towel, a right slinky, sexy dressing gown on, and you're in the mood for it. It's time for loving. So what is your ultimate love song? It's not your wedding song, is it?
No, it isn't. No, it's a joke. So my love song is O-Town, All or Nothing. 'Cause I want it all. or nothing at all.
We used to sing that actually on the fireworks night. We did it a couple of times. Do you remember when the hotel manager was like, we want you to sing, and then he would come on and do the Blues Brothers? Christos. Do you remember when Christos?
Right, okay, I'd forgotten about that. I had erased that from my brain. But yeah, he did. He used to come on and do the Blues
Brothers. Yeah. Anyway, back to O-Town. So stupid. Back to O-Town. Now, this is the song in the X Factor when it's like judges' houses, and it can go either way if this is in the background, because they'll play the piano bit in the background, won't they? Yeah. And then it'll go to the big bit.
You're through the judges' houses, or you're through the final.
And but then they'd also show the people who didn't get through then, because the all is obviously the final, and then nothing is go back to your life, second shelves in Wilco. Lovely. So do you listen to this quite often?
That song? Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. I've got like an old school sort of playlist thing. Oh, it's not even a playlist. It's just songs that I listen to that are just always there. I'm still living in the past, if I'm honest.
Aren't we all, hun? Yeah. Aren't we all? And finally, what song gets you laughing like you were in Shagaloof back in the day, or laughing over a Mackie D's? Is there a song that you have for that?
So probably, it's so cliche, but it's got to be Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Because it's every night out that I've ever had in my life. And it's just dun, 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 everybody kick, yeah.
There's that meme that's come out recently, and it's like, when Shania Twain, Man, Do I Feel Like a Woman comes on, I could kick a door in.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I feel that energy. I feel like a woman.
Boom.
You
what?
You what? You want to go then? Come on now.
Hold us back.
Why I oughta. So they are the tracks which make you live, love, and laugh. We will add them to the Hunsnet playlist on Spotify as well. So we're going to make it.
I need this playlist in my life.
It's called the Hunsnet playlist on Spotify.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Do you know what I love about it as well is that because on Spotify, you have to put your own name, and that's how people first started realizing who this person. There was a bit of an investigation, like, who is Hunsnet?
Okay.
And then I got found out my name because of Spotify, because it says uploaded by Gareth. Yeah, so never trust me on an investigation, because I can't hold my water.
I think it's good that people can see that it's you. And that's what you used to do. You were literally a presenter your whole life. Like, it makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Right, okay, moving swiftly on. Now, do you remember being a teen hun? You know, a teenager hun back in the day. You weren't a hun. You were hunning training back then.
Yeah. Hunning training, yeah.
Now, the one thing that's made a bit of a comeback on Hunsnet recently is old magazines and the problem pages. Now, did you ever read More magazine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. More, Shout, Ms. Love them.
Just 17, Bliss.
Yeah.
Well, what we've been doing is, you know, that on because I know that on Shag, Married, Annoyed, people can send things into you to discuss. What's that feature called? Remind when they send it? Questions from the public. Questions from the public, and then you guys discuss it. Well, we've been doing something similar, but we're not copying. But we've been doing. We are copying, actually. Slander. We basically brought you on this podcast to just get everything out of you, how to sell at Wembley. Yeah.
Honestly, it's a very basic concept. So I think we got rid of someone else, if I'm totally honest with you.
Rather than getting problems from today, we've been revisiting problems from the past.
Okay.
And putting them under the lens of Hun culture in 2021, sort of getting the Huns and the Hunsnet followers to give their advice. Right. Okay, and you can chip in on this. So I'm going to read the problem. So I think this one was from Just 17 magazine, and it says, I'm best mates with this really trendy girl in my class. Everything used to be okay with us, but then she started saying I was copying her. It all began when I bought a pair of kickers. I thought they were trendy. I didn't even know she had some. Then she accused me of wearing the same jeans as her and liking the same music. It's not fair. Loads of people like the Spice Girls and East 17, not just me. I don't know what to do to make things right. Confused, Skegness.
Oh no! Oh, confused. I don't know where to start. Firstly, that's a really exotic name. Look at you. Oh, kickers shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I never had any. Honestly,
you were living the orphan life up in the north.
we were dirt poor. Like there was 3 of us. We didn't have stuff like that because my mum loved. We had quite a nice house, so to have the nice house, we had nothing else. What would I confused? I would just say, just stick it out and just live your own life.
Live your best life.
Live your best life. And yeah, everyone likes the Spice Girls in 17. Not just that cow.
Yeah.
That pig.
That old slag. No, this is a teenage magazine. Nobody's an old slag in a teenage magazine.
I'm trying to. What did we used to call people back when we were younger? Like instead of being like
bint, a bint.
That bint, yeah.
Yeah, you bint.
Yeah.
A bint.
That sado.
Slapper.
That freak.
That old slapper. Oh dear.
Gosh.
Right. Well, let's see what the Huns had to say.
Okay,
so we've had some iconic fashion advice from Emily Slade 89, who said, buy a Baby G.
Baby G's.
The watch.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Buildings and Floor Plans offered the alternative. All Saints take that and Kangol jeans advice. We're with you. So just go different. Okay.
Yeah. Poppers. Adidas poppers, always a win.
I thought you were on about poppers.
No, not actual poppers. Oh my gosh.
I love an Adidas popper.
Listen, we're not on the dance floor at Flamingos.
No,
right?
We're not. Oh, damn. Jacob Brody, back in the day. Jacob Brody 93 said you should bin her off and go on the 2p machines, hun.
Yeah.
That's a life. That is an inspirational quote that should be on something. And bin them off and go on the 2p machines.
Always.
I think this one's a Vicky B fan and says, wear those kickers, hun, and dance proudly to Who Do You Think You Are?
Who do you think you're some kind of superstar? You have got to swing it, shake it, move it, make it. Who do you think you are?
I think we've got the album track list here. Rosie the Military Wife with the Jane McDonald feature, Who Do You Think You Are? And I'll do the rap in Wannabe for you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
House of Hay says, Canal Darling, tell her to stop being a clammy brunette and ask her why she's so obsessed with you. So I think there's an overwhelming sack her off message.
Yeah.
You need to do you, hun.
You need to do you, hun. You can't be thinking about everybody else and what they're doing.
No, you do you.
Concentrate. Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time. You do you, and you go out there all Huns blazing.
Oh, listen to that.
Oh,
I want that. I want that on my bedroom
on
wall.
a nice decal. Nice decal.
Yeah.
Moving on, we're nearly at the end now, Rosie. I know this is gutting for you, but before we go, I would like to know who you would like to crown this week's Royal Hunness. Now, we here at Hunsnet celebrate Huns. Now, it can be Tesco Mary or it could be Jane winning Come Dine With Me. Rosie, we need to know who you respect and who you would crown a right Royal Hun, and we will enter them into our Royal Hunness Hall of Fame. So, who is your Hun on high and why? Okay,
you don't watch it, but I am obsessed with Real Housewives. Okay, and I think a lot of the Huns listening will also be obsessed with Real Housewives. So I kind of flit between Real Housewives all the time, and I've got my favourites and I've got my like not so favourites. But my current Hun at the minute is Karen from Real Housewives of Atlanta. No, not Atlanta. Potomac. Real Housewives of Potomac.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where is Potomac? Because it sounds like something you'd put in a printer.
And it does a little bit. It's not far from Atlanta, I think. I think it's near there. I don't want to. I don't know. You need to watch Real Housewives.
Everyone says that I should watch it. Everyone says, but I, as I say, I'm living in the past with footballers' wives, and I'm quite happy there actually.
No, but you would love it. You would so love it. And you could go back. So she recently had a vaccine, and it was on the podcast. And say, I've been vaccinated.
Vaccinated.
I've been vaccinated to sit with you, with you, heifers.
Is this on the reunion episode?
It's on just the last episode that I watched. I've been vaccinated to sit here with you, heifers.
If they did a Real Housewives of South Shields, would you go on that?
Like, I would want to, but at the same time, I have absolutely no time for people who want to just have a coffee with you to sort out your differences.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all right, thanks, hun. No, I've never. It's always been the same, like on Towie or like all of the Maiden Chelseas and stuff like that. Like, can we meet up to have a chat?
Can I put you for a chat?
Yeah, how about just let's not speak anymore?
Yeah, let's not speak anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You do you.
You do you. I'm going to do me, hun, over here, blocked with you on block number, and you do you over there. Fabulous.
Like, just chat all the time.
Yeah, should we go for a chat? Nah, not today. Not today, darling. Rosie, before we go, tell us all and remind all of the Hunsnet listeners what's going on in the world of Rosie that we can look out for you over the next coming months.
So the main thing is that we are on tour. Our podcast is on tour, Shag, Married, Annoyed. We are, I'm going to look at the diary now. We're at Manchester, Liverpool Arena, Sheffield Arena, Glasgow Arena, Aberdeen Arena, Birmingham Arena, Manchester Arena and Leeds Arena. If you want to come see us, shagmarriedannoyed.com. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, and I've got to say to you that I saw, we've spoken about this briefly throughout the thing, I saw the show in Wembley, and I didn't really know what to expect because, I was like, how do you bring podcasts to live on stage? But basically, it's like an hour and a half of you absolutely tearing the arsehole out of Chris, and it was so fun to watch. It was brilliant.
Pretty much.
I did actually notice that your wine glass actually was very dainty on set. You've got Shag, Married, Annoyed wine glasses as well, haven't you?
We do. You can fit a full bottle of wine in there.
Was that a design spec that you added in?
Maybe not. I don't think I requested it, but it just happened that way because I just said I want a really, really big glass. Yeah. Because I love kind of big, like the dainty kind of stem, but then a big glass, and it was just massive.
Fabulous. And so we've got the tour coming up. Obviously, every week. Do you take a break on the podcast, or is it every single week? Because do you have seasons, or do you? I'm just getting
every week.
Every week.
No, it's every single week. We have loads of questions. Our editor's amazing, and she's like a real full-on hun, Daisy Knight, and she just keeps loads of questions back. So if we do have to have a week off, like I had a baby.
We'll just get that microphone over, gas in here.
Questions from
the Are you okay, hon?
Question from the surgeon. What do you think about this? Yeah, so we I think we took 2 weeks off.
And the good thing about the show is that because of the content that comes in every night, it's I'm imagining it's different every single time.
Every show. Yeah. So the first half is a little bit similar, but then obviously because it's live, it's always a little bit off piece. But the second half is different every single night. Every single night.
So if you've been once, then you got to see it. Honestly, guys, if you I'm pretty sure that the majority of people will have listened to the podcast. But if you're even thinking about, should we go watch something? Honestly, it is so amazing. I was so proud of you. I thought it was so amazing to see. It was so refreshing. I loved seeing Captain Croc from Pontins up on the big screen in Wembley. It was awesome. Rosie Ramsey, thanks for indulging us on the Hundamental Guide to Life. You've been a total hun, and I applaud you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Gareth. And keep up the good work.
That's it from the Hundamental Guide to Life. This episode, don't forget you can get your fix of our Gorgina picks and more tracks to pop your pussy to with some Prosexy. So follow the Hunsnet profile on Spotify where we'll dump all of the songs. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and follow this podcast. Oh yeah, and rate and review 5 stars. Thank you.
Insanity Group.
If you love Hunsnet and you love brunch and you've not checked out Hunsnet's Hun Brunch, then you're missing out, honey. Join us at least once a month in London and up and down the country for drag dallins, gorgy cocky teas, competitions, prizes, exclusive merch giveaways and wall-to-wall Huns. So whether it's a birthday celebration, hen party, girly catch-up, or actually for any reason whatsoever, get on the Nokia 3310 to the Girly Whirlies and get yourselves to Hun Brunch immediately, if not sooner. Tickets exclusively available on Dice.